most of the briefing. She was accompanied by what was probably the senior male CIA person and another young woman. Camille, in my mind, was almost pathetic in her naivety, for an obvious lack of appreciation of any of the science of what she was talking about. She gave instances of things she said were gotten by CIA intercepts in conversations in China, particularly in Wuhan. Her major point was she feels that the Chinese have not been transparent about what was going on in their labs, since there were no reports publicly of what they found out from intercepts. So, again, he was writing that the CIA was naive about all of this. And then there is the aspect of what Fauci was writing about in his diary.
I promoted him again in the tweet, so who knows? I gotta shut up, Ben Shapiro. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get right to it. We're expecting Jeffrey Tucker with the Brownstone Institute to be joining us at any moment. He has not popped in yet. Hopefully soon. Either way, it's possible he's got a tsunami of media today and he's just overrun or celebrating. Who knows? Either way, I'm still like... the
Fauci quotes just keep on coming. Like, it's nonstop. Even right after we got off the show last night, I was reading you more of them that came up, talking to Barbara Streisand, talking to Tyra Banks. He was loving yes. being a media darling and being famous and all of this stuff. And it's so incredible, like, just his love of celebrity and how impressed he is with himself. Had a call with Barbara Streisand. She called my cell at 6:05 p.m. She has recently had zoster with lesion on hip buttock. She has post-zoster neuralgia down her leg, but the primary lesion had healed. She wanted to know if it was okay to get the mRNA vaccine. I told her yes. We then started discussing life in general. Imagine, like, writing all this down. It's so embarrassing.
Well, I mean, he's 90 and he's bragging about meeting a celebrity. Oh, yeah, we were just talking, life.
We were just, shooting the shit, like talking to each other. It was great. Me and Barbara Streisand. I told her I was at work listening to her songs on Alexa. She really did not know what Alexa was. I accidentally butt dialed her later in the evening, and she said she was going to call me anyway since she wanted to know if there was any difference between the Moderna and the Pfizer product. I told her none. I then explained to her more about Alexa. I brought the phone over to Alexa and asked to play songs by Barbara Streisand. When the song came on loud and clear, she started laughing and absolutely loved it. And then he talks about being on an Instagram live with Tyra Banks. In the Instagram with Tyra Banks, she was wonderful. People who wrote comments were 95% positive, but some were really mean and vicious statements about me and Tyra. One person said that Tyra was sexy, but I was even more sexy than she was. She read it and put a big smile on her face and said she agreed with that. But then beautifully and gently shot this down, saying, Dr. Fauci, that is true, and my mother is in love with you. Zing. He writes to himself in his diary. Good Lord. May my diary never be made public.
Well, but the thing is...
I mean, not that I even have time to write in a diary.
During the dark illness, right? COVID is upon us.
Yeah, everyone's dying.
Right.
They're finally rolling out the vaccine, and he's Mr. Joking with Tyra Banks and Barbara Streisand, hanging out, having dinner with Jake Tapper while the country's locked down.
Yes.
So that they can crap on President Trump together in their dinner. Oh, yeah, Jake Tapper thinks Trump's totally crazy, blah, blah, blah.
It's funny because those two are just kind of equally just false frauds. And Tapper's been on everything.
It's great to have, like, an inside look at how Beltway people think, don't you think? Like, I wish we could read all their diaries, don't you?
Yeah.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's like all the things you think. And then, he's trying to, like, get jobs. Where was it? Andrew Cuomo encouraged him to quit government and promised to secure him a high-paying private sector gig. Of course, all these people are shady. They're all like, oh, yeah, I'll get you a job. You'll make money doing this. It's like a constant revolving door of these people. They're like cockroaches. They never go away.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned last night that Ari Emanuel had been calling him and said, I want to pop by the house and have dinner with you.
Yeah, you're so naive. You're not making nearly enough money from all this stuff.
Yeah, in my mind, I was thinking of Zeke Emanuel because he's the doctor guy who's crazy.
Yeah.
But Ari is...
an operator.
Ari is Ari Gold from Entourage.
Yeah.
Literally, it's about him.
Right.
So it's like, you sleazy Hollywood types are coming over. It's like, we're going to make hay, man. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. It's
so bad.
Yes.
And then, of course, there's all the stuff where, in 2021, when he was saying that the vaccine prevented infections and he was having a panic attack because he was at a party where even though everybody was vaccinated, they had their masks off and he was panicked that he was going to get COVID from that because he knew that even if you are vaccinated, you could still get COVID.
Oh, that's freaking... How is he not in jail for that?
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's so bad. And, I mean, part of me almost feels bad for him because he was so clearly beholden to public opinion in such a big way.
Yep.
Like a person who's that impressed by positive media about himself has got to be taking this really bad right now.
Yes.
This release and all that it shows about him and all these words coming back to bite him, that's got to be a painful one because seeing all this stuff that everybody's saying about him now, none of it's positive. Because all the glowing stuff is like over. None of those people care what's going on. They're not following this release or anything.
Yes.
So it's just all the negative people now.
Well, I
hope he doesn't kill himself.
We just talked to I just did the Main Wire show, an hour ago. And we were talking about some of the things, like some of the fallout from Fauci and all of the schools, all the damage that was done there didn't need to be. It was totally arbitrary. It was their move at mass persuasion. They said, okay, if we want to, it's the same way if you make a wish list from your boss. You ask for $3,000 worth of stuff, maybe you get $800 worth of stuff.
Right.
So we're trying to persuade everybody. Yes, it will also affect kids. Yeah, it's going to kill the kids. It affects everybody. Everybody should get your booster. Everybody needs to get vaxxed. Or if you don't, it should. And there's they were trying to create an esprit de corps around we're getting vaxxed, and Steve Colbert with his dancing with the things, and it was such a. And then they took a quick time out. George Floyd riots, go out and riot. And then a month later, it's okay, time back in. Now you have to have your mask on when you go walk into the restaurant. Then you can take it off.
Yeah, when you sit down at the table, then you're okay to take it off.
All of the stuff that they did. And it's just imagine how terrible it was. And how terrible the left was during that time, too. Remember freaking de Blasio eating the burger?
Oh, that was awful. Yeah.
Well, if you want let's do this burger, it's all right, Doc, if I eat one of these, right? Well, if you get a vax, Jesus. It was so pathetic. So, and and we've talked about this. This is right when the show started, really.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff they did, the people in our town who got all dressed up in matching T-shirts to talk about their credentials at our town meeting and say that, hey, I happen to go to Harvard, so I can tell you for a fact that these masks will stop the spread of the disease and all this stuff. It was it was always fraudulent.
Yeah. These are some good ones, too. This is from his diary entry from 2021. David Axelrod sent me a text saying that his wife, Susan, says that I look 10 years younger since the change of administrations.
You would have to be... It's not even sociopathic. There's another word for it. He's
narcissist.
Yeah, you have to be such a narcissist. I mean, literally,
to write that as a diary entry. David Axelrod said his wife said that I look 10 years younger since the change of administration.
Now, tell me what else about the conversation with David Axelrod, who, by the way, brought us Deval Patrick, who brought us Barack Obama, who's considered on the left one of the greatest political minds and masterminds of some great campaigns. Mm-hmm. What else did he tell Fauci? That Fauci wrote down?
Nothing in this diary entry.
Wow. So Axelrod called up and just had that one sentence to say.
I guess they're listening to this one. I received a text from Dana Bash pointing out that Vanity Fair recently had a headline that said, Jim Jordan trips over his own asshole trying to debate Anthony Fauci.
They told me I was pretty good. I will say that.
Unbelievable. That's just a bad reflection on Dana Bash, too.
Oh, it's terrible.
That she's like texting flattering headlines to him.
Oh, yeah.
Look, they said Jim Jordan tripped over his own asshole. Ha ha.
And he's like, she shouldn't be swearing, but, we're both celebrities, so we don't say anything.
Oh, that's tough.
Well, and then go through again the pay-for-play aspect that we talked about last night.
Right. So, of course, he's running at this time this huge branch of government that hands out all these grants for research, billions of dollars in grants. And he's asking the people who are the recipients of these grants to nominate him for awards, some of which have prizes in the millions of dollars. So he's like winning $1 million prize because he had somebody who's the beneficiary of his government department's largesse, so the taxpayers' largesse under his supervision. He's having them nominate him for awards. And then he's walking away with $1 million. That's crazy.
Yes.
So inappropriate. And he probably was in some sense like kind of naive to how much money he could have made and capitalized on it, as people like, Ari Emanuel were telling him. Like, he probably could have gone harder into the grift than he did, but he obviously took advantage of every opportunity that presented itself. And clearly, if you become this media darling because you're somebody who's like a foil to Trump in their mind, where you're Mr. Science and Mr. Vaccine and Mr. Stop the Spread, and you present yourself as, he literally, you were playing the quote earlier, he literally told people that to doubt him was to doubt science itself.
Yes.
So, you're presenting yourself like this, and that's such an appealing argument for the political left, because they're like, we're the party of science. In this house, we believe science, all that crap. So when you say like, oh, Trump's bumbling idiot, doesn't believe science, says we should inject bleach, and now you present this foil of like, and he's stupid. He didn't realize that he was just their Michael Avenatti of the moment.
Well, yes.
Like, they just, they went through, they had Stormy Daniels, they had Michael Avenatti, they had, they have these various characters in their...
the one who's going to finally take him down.
In their telenovela that they watch every day of the Trump administration. Everybody's... So, like, he just was the latest anti-Trump character in that show that they're into. So, but, he probably could have capitalized on it more, but he definitely made use of what walked his way in terms of these awards and prizes and stuff. It is interesting because like COVID made a bunch of those. Cuomo obviously had his political fortunes made, and then kind of, they also fell apart later, but he was being talked about for president in 2024. Remember that? Cuomo?
Of course.
So he was like a character in this show that they're into. And they had people like, what's her name? Rebecca, the one in Florida, the blonde one who's nuts.
Oh, yeah, who went after it with Pusha.
And Ron DeSantis fired her.
Death sentence,
and she, and then she was arrested because then she logged back into the government systems that she lost access to. She like claimed to be a scientist, but really she just, was in charge of a website that listed how many cases there were in Florida. So she claimed that Ron DeSantis was pressuring her to publish better numbers or something, which she made up completely. And then, she eventually got fired because she was such a pain in the neck. And then she got arrested because she logged back into the government systems and like mass messaged the employees in the government systems after she'd been fired and wasn't supposed to have access anymore. Like, you need to blow the whistle on this administration, like all this stuff. And so, but then she, of course, claimed political persecution by Ron DeSantis and became this darling and was on magazine covers and, like with boxing gloves on and all kinds of silly photos. She was like another character in that. Yeah, COVID made a bunch of those. And it was something to watch because some people like cashed in on the grift. Obviously, Fauci like had been in government a long time and had some credentials and was sort of like, but that like Florida data lady was like just there for the cash grift. She was absolutely like nothing before and nothing after. That was her one claim to fame, was she was unprofessional and a useless government employee. That was like her whole thing.
Like Miles Taylor, right?
Who's Miles Taylor?
He's the secret anonymous who's in the administration blowing the whistle
on
them.
He's one of those.
Who's still a big pussy who like gets his ass kicked every time he gets to Scott Jennings. Here's a new one else. This is older. Okay, this is from 2013. Okay. January 14th, 2013. HHS turned me down on requests from CNN, Wolf Blitzer, and Soledad O'Brien. I asked John Bucklow to call up Bill Hall and find out what the heck is going on and what the reason for all of this. John told me that CDC complained to Bill Hall and HHS that I was getting all the publicity on an issue, influenza tracking, that they considered was their issue. I do not know who at CDC did this. It could be anyone from Tom Frieden, I doubt this, to more likely Tom Skinner, CDC PR person. In any event, it has nothing to do with my use of the word epidemic on Wolf Blitzer's show and everything to do with pure jealousy that I am a, quote, rock star.
So he's been
stealing their thunder.
He's been trying to be famous for 15 years, basically.
Yes.
Long story short.
Yes. Shame on the CDC. Bill Hall promised John Burklow that as the epidemic stabilizes, I will be allowed to do the big shows, and that starting now, I can do anything that has to do with the science and vaccine development. Rockstar. Like, how old is this guy? He reminds me of a 22-year-old woman in radio who's trying to get on the air or trying to really get into TV.
Or these, like, influencers or wannabe influencers who do little social media dances and stuff.
Yes.
Like, every time hoping they're going to get picked up and make the big time.
That's a dangerous thing. It's a dangerous thing. Hold on. Chat says, she also banged and then stalked a student. Oh, is that true?
I don't remember.
Like Fauci, according to Fauci, remember this whole thing? He said that he still sees patients.
I don't remember that.
He did. He says that he still sees patients. I don't ever believe him.
For what? Like, what is he diagnosing?
I think it's just a put on or a front or whatever. But can you imagine, like, your doctor's asking you questions, but his mind's on Joan Baez, who sent him a framed picture? So I met Joan Baez.
It's so bad. Man.
Tom Elliott, by the way, is just like has
cooking.
Yeah, he has got his paws on this big time. Has found some awesome stuff. Let's see. Here's Jake Tapper in October of 2020 tweets, attacking the widely respected Tony Fauci while holding potential super spreader rallies throughout the battleground states. Seems like a great way to win back those seniors and women voters concerned about how he's handled the pandemic. That's him after Trump. That's after Trump is going after Fauci in 2020. Trump went after, attacked him, and this is what brought that on. Trump tweeted out, actually, Tony's pitching arm is far more accurate than his prognostications. No problem, no masks. WHO no longer likes lockdowns. Just came out against. Trump was right. We saved 2 million USA lives.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. I don't know, like I don't know how you deal with the fact that sorry, I'm not expressing myself very well, but I guess the point that jumps out at me is that because we give so much money to the federal government, and
Yes.
because it's so powerful, and because we as a country focus so much of our energy on what's happening in Washington, D.C. around politics and political activities and what the departments of the executive branch are doing, that it's our fault as a country that we've created these pathetic, wretched characters that are like this.
Yeah.
And that are getting paid for being like this. And I don't know how we solve that problem. Because until there stops being so much money in Washington, D.C., and until there's stop being so many TV cameras in Washington, D.C., I don't know how you keep people like this away from the levers of power. That's the issue. That's the issue, is that there's so much power, there's so much fame, there's so much money in all of this, and you don't have to be that great to get it. You're not going to be working in government. You're not going to be Elon Musk rich, but being Elon Musk rich the way Elon Musk has done it is way harder. You have to be really smart and do stuff and hardworking and things, the thing about government is it allows really mediocre people to cash in big time and become super famous, super wealthy. They're not going to be Jeff Bezos or Bill Gates or whatever, but getting that rich is really hard, and I think that's part of the problem of why we have so many socialists too, is because, everyone sees this happening in Washington, D.C., and they can see how dirty and wretched and pathetic it is. And I think that a lot of people who are around that world, at whatever level of politics, whether it's grifty state level Beacon Hill politics,
yes,
where they're consultants and lawyers and lobbyists and people getting cushy jobs in the executive branch under the governor and whatever. It goes on and on. The corruption runs deep all over the place. They think that all jobs are like that. They think that's how people make money. They think that's how Elon Musk has gotten rich.
Yes.
So because that's all they know how to do. They don't know how to offer something of value to the earth that people want to pay money for.
No.
They just know how to show up at some grifty Beacon Hill thing or grifty Beltway thing and, do some job that's useless. Punch in, punch out, do their thing, funnel some money to some useless NGOs for transgender hookers in some godforsaken place on earth. And that. They can't imagine a job that creates value for people. They think all jobs are jobs that somebody just made up the job and decided how much to get paid for it. They think all jobs, they think somebody woke up one day and was like, you know what? Elon Musk should have a job where he tells a bunch of other people what to do and he should make $1 trillion from it.
Yes.
They think it just fell from the sky.
Well,
and so They because to them jobs do fall from the sky. The president decides we need a job for people to help, give clean needles to transgender prostitutes, and then they agree to pay you some amount for it. There's no demand, natural demand, and you're providing value and any of that. They don't understand the first thing about that. So of course they think there shouldn't be trillionaires because they think somebody sat down and decided to pay Elon Musk a literal $1 trillion to be the king of SpaceX or something.
Yes. Yes.
They don't know how anything works.
And that goes into this cut I have. This is of Fauci of November 25th, 2019. So this is before it was half starting, but we didn't know it quite. 2019, shortly before COVID hit the U.S., Fauci says that he wanted the opportunity to respond to a brand new pandemic or a bioweapon attack. Listen to this. Sorry.
HIV. So you have malaria, tuberculosis, HIV. These are things that are there. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I aspirationally hope to be able to encounter is the ability to rapidly respond to something brand new, whether it's a brand new pandemic or, as you mentioned, a brand new attack upon us deliberately by bioterror.
So he wants to be able to rapidly respond to a pandemic or a bioterror attack.
Yeah, because he wants to see himself as the heroic superhero saving us all.
Mostly he wants to see himself on TV. That's what it is. Because, at this point in 2019, our stockpiles had been depleted.
Right.
We had no PPE. We had none of the stuff that 2 months later, we were all saying, where's all the stuff? Oh, we haven't had it since swine flu. Oh, really? Like, why wouldn't... So he's ready to hit the green rooms. He's not going to do the thing and requisitioning payments for masks and this and that. And that somebody might have to testify in front of Congress while they're asked about...
No, that's the boring part.
Yeah, it's boring. He wants to talk to Dana and Chuck Todd and Barbara Streisand. Guess who just called? Guess who this is, honey?
Oh. But yeah, these horrible, wretched leeches are all over Washington, D.C. He just happens to be one who, struck gold this time.
Yes.
But they're all over there. I don't think there's a person in Washington, D.C. who doesn't look in the mirror and, straighten their suit jacket and think to themselves, it could be me. Don't you think?
What do you mean, could be me?
That they're going to... all the people in Congress, all the people in the executive branch, don't you think all of them are waiting for their moment for all the news stations to be calling them and to be invited to the green rooms and the good parties and everybody to be coming and taking selfies with them and Barbara Streisand calling them and stuff?
Absolutely they are.
Absolutely. Every member of Congress, everybody working in the executive, they all think their day is coming.
And it's funny because they fall for every test. They can't help it. They can't help it. Remember when ticket prices were being talked about and they all had to do Taylor Swift lyrics?
Yeah.
And it was all off, terrible.
Oh, it was so cringy. And I mean, you see the same stuff. Brendan Gill that we played the other day.
Yes.
He was great as Brendan Gill.
Mm-hmm.
We had some laughs out of it.
Yes.
All that. But... then I'm seeing Brandon Gill follow me ads in Twitter.
Yes.
It obviously, he's using the cameras that we have in Congress to cut campaign ads for himself, really is what's going on there.
Yeah. But
because they're all, and I think rightly so, both parties at this moment in time feel that 2028 is wide open.
Well, yeah.
For anybody who's going to break through.
But I also think that there's something that happens in media with a guy like Jake Tapper, who's a total midwit, medium-sized brain, maybe lower than medium, who gets dressed in a nice suit, walks down the hall, has all the stuff, and you've seen when they pushed them all, they made them all podcasts from their basements, 2 months ago they tried that. And all his stuff was
Here's where the real work happens.
Yeah, all his stuff was from his office, right? Those old campaign signs and stuff. He's such a...
Obviously incredibly curated before they decided to just impromptu shoot from here.
He's such an old political soul, gumshoe, but always been on the ground politics guy. He lives and breathes it, if you don't know. Look at all my politics stuff.
But then it's the book deals and this and that.
Right. But I think that they think that's just part of the trappings of somebody who feels that they're really kind of a really extra noble person. And, here's Anthony Fauci. He's also in a nice suit. He also has a whole ton of money. He speaks soberly and with discipline and uses technical, he comports himself well, and you're like, wow, that person's sophisticated like I am. We're in the club. We live in nice places. We're the model for it. and which is why they all hate Trump, because Trump doesn't give a. He looks at those people, spits at them, speaks in his New York accent, like. But I think that it's all part of the trappings of like this is why, and that's why the whole COVID thing was just simply, oh, you see, okay, so what are the uneducated doing? They're not masking. We mask in this family, we get T-shirts made, we go to the board, we make the girls in the softball team.
Well, and at the very beginning, when they didn't have enough masks, of course, they were telling Trump that masks didn't matter, and Trump was arguing back. That was leaked to NBC. I think I remember reading us that article way back in like February or March of 2020. Of like somebody saying that in meetings, Trump was like, if the masks don't work, why do the healthcare providers wear them? Like, what? But remember, Fauci was telling people the masks don't work because they didn't want people going out and buying them because they were trying to have enough for healthcare workers.
It's another fucking lie.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was lies all the way down.
Okay, so the last 7 things I've said to you has been lies because I needed you to do something. But this time I mean it. This time it's the truth. It's funny you say that because the worst pain I felt in 5 years happened today.
What pain was it?
You know what it was?
No.
I ate a spoonful of cottage cheese, and it rested on the left side of my mouth.
Oh, for your dental work?
On the tooth.
That has a cavity that they won't fix.
The one it's on the watch list. The whole reason I went to the dentist and we spent $2,500 out of pocket. And then I've like maxed out the insurance. That's the whole reason I went, and they never did it. They're like, oh no. Actually, that looks good. Okay, well it effing hurts. No. We don't. I am the science. I am the science.
Have they ever told you they think it's reflective pain from somewhere else? That's my favorite dentist line.
No.
No, I don't see anything there. It must be reflected pain from a different part of your mouth.
But what'll happen is this: is that they'll find out that this is some kind of weird mouth bone cancer. It usually will take like 3 years to kill you. I'll be convinced by somebody against my own will and against my best wishes to go get it treated and excised now. I'll get chemotherapy and radiation for 6 months, and that'll kill me. And every fucking person in the medical industry involved will feel they did a good job.
They'll pat themselves on the back.
Yeah, dentist. Yeah, no, we did a good job. You see how clean his dead body teeth are? See, we did. I did mine, and you did yours, and we did yours, and we did. And the doctors put him on the regimen, and they had the chemo, and he did all the right things that we said to go for it. There you go. It reminds me of Dvorak, John C. Dvorak, who just died of the No Agenda podcast, who just last year, like 6 months ago, had a vicious fight with cancer. And, it beat the crap out of him because, of course, he had to do the radiation and all this stuff. And now he just dropped dead the other night. It's like, boom, boom. Like,
yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't have fought the cancer. Maybe his actual, like, I hate these people. But they all feel like they're doing, and CNN feels like we can walk proudly when we walk through that door. You, Don Lemon, remember 15 years ago, Rick Sanchez, Jeffrey Toobin, the guy who jerked off on a Zoom meeting, and then you make a girl bring him back on and talk about his masturbating, and he said, yes, I was like, the station of Brooke Baldwin, who couldn't hear the word boobs said, and then now is just wearing a bra on her website. It's freaking crazy. All right, we have a couple of. Should we play Mamdami here?
Yeah, we can hit Mamdami. The 9/11 families have started a petition. They don't want him at the 9/11 ceremonies and stuff because he espouses the same ideology as the people that did it. Yes. So they feel uncomfortable with having him there.
Yes. I have no problem with that.
He has a bunch of people have been arguing about it on Twitter, and like the lefties are like, well, he never has said that he thinks 9/11 was good or anything like that. Like,
yep.
Now that the bar is underground.
By the way, I think 9/11 falls under. What did you think decolonization was going to look like?
Well, yeah. I mean, like, so he hasn't said that about 9/11 specifically.
He hasn't said it in his capacity as a politician from New York yet.
Yeah, I mean, if people look through his wife's social media, I think they probably could find something pretty quickly because she loved October 7th. She was all about that. But the problem is he follows the same belief system as people that did it. And I don't just mean Islam. I mean, like, Islam, anti-colonial, like he's among the people that would read the Osama bin Laden letter, why we did 9/11, and be like, yeah, the man makes some good points.
Yes.
Like, that's the issue. And, he recently was at a mosque where the imam has called for the death of all non-Muslims. And so, I mean, but at the end of the day, maybe the standard should be if the 9/11 families hate you and don't want you there, maybe you F off.
Yeah, I would think so.
Like, shouldn't that just be the standard?
He's not like them, is the thing. He's not like the 9/11 families. He's just not. I'm sorry.
I mean, do you think New York has fundamentally changed in the last 25 years? Like,
I guess so, yeah. At least Manhattan.
I just think the people there are so different from the people that were there 25 years ago.
25 years ago, there was a consensus that something awful had happened. And there were a couple of outliers in academia. Do you remember, like, the guy, Ward Churchill, who said we had it coming, and they were considered the worst people on the earth.
Right. Even Deval Patrick got in trouble for saying it was a failure of human understanding.
Right.
Remember that one?
Right. Here's Mamdami.
The families, the survivors, the first responders.
Sorry, let me rewind it.
A number of people who are survivors of 9/11
he reads this and does
are calling
not smile.
on you not to go to 9/11 memorial services. I wonder how you feel about the fact that they're trying to keep you away.
I will proudly honor the families, the survivors, the first responders forever impacted by that horrific terror attack by standing alongside them at this year's 9/11 commemoration, reaffirming that we will never forget the solemn day felt by all of us who call this city home. And
was he even alive? And if he was in Uganda.
Yeah, no, he was just not. He was where people celebrated it.
Yes, absolutely. They flew out of there. Hey, by the way, he's speaking from one of his grocery stores. I guess it's either a city-run grocery store or one that they're using to show a model, and it shows reduced 30% all the prices in the store. So all the stuff is just 30% cheaper in there.
Wow, that's great.
Wow,
That's great. So he was 10. Let's see where he was living at that time. He moved to New York City at 7. So I guess he did live in New York City when 9/11 happened. He moved there in 1998. He was 10.
Let me see if I can find a...
Yeah. Education. He attended the Bank Street School for Children on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I'm assuming it's a private preschool, elementary school, and middle school. Of course it is.
here's how it will work. Once a month, our 5 city-run grocery stores will set prices for this core set of goods at 30% below typical retail prices.
You hearing this?
No exceptions, no gimmicks. The savings will last for the entire month. That means no weekly fluctuations nor sticker shock at the checkout line.
So, how is the competition supposed to react to this?
I mean,
how is the bodega that's mom and pop
just
place?
trying to stay in business,
Right? Because they're being undercut by somebody who's just using the taxpayer money.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, if we're gonna get into like Mamdami policy land, you could go on all day. Like we were listening to the All In podcast, and they were talking about how screwed landlords are. That because you can no longer evict people, you can't raise rents, and you can't credit check people now. So you can't ask like how much money they make
Is
to
that
see
serious?
if like. So you're just like screwed. Things like Airbnb, I think, are already banned and whatever. And, if you live in a liberal state, you're taking your future into your own hands when you do Airbnb or whatever, any of these anyway, because a lot of them think you still can't evict people even when it's like an Airbnb. You know what I mean? So, they just are so intent on screwing landlords, these liberal states. It's crazy. I did want to mention to you, have you ever heard of seeing a movie in 4DX?
No.
So this is a thing. I've never heard of it, although I assume it was a thing before the Odyssey, but it's been now in the news because a lot of people haven't realized that they're seeing it in 4D when they get the tickets. And what 4D is it's a way of seeing the movie where you get splashed with water and your seat shakes and you get all this stuff happens to you during it.
Good.
It's the movie, and people don't realize that they're going to see the Odyssey in 4DX.
Oh, that's great.
When they do it, so they're surprised by it when they go. So it's a big thing that's trending. I'm not seeing it in 4DX. When I saw the news articles, I went to go double check and make sure that my tickets weren't for that.
Oh, the kids would love that.
I don't want that. But, maybe some people would like it. But yeah, it's funny because there are quotes out here of people who didn't know they were going to see it. And all of a sudden they're getting sprayed with something.
That's great. I like the world where that happens.
Yeah, it sure is interesting. Yeah, I want to see if I can find the quotes. He says, I became aware people were suffering through this mistaken adventure. This is an article on Business Insider when a friend of mine told me it happened to him. This friend, who requested to remain anonymous, took a small dose of weed gummies and some magic mushrooms and went to see the movie by himself. There's so much action where they shake the seats, moving them up and down, side to side, my friend said. Even though the shakes only come in doses of seconds, you're probably in for a solid 7 minutes of seat shaking. It takes a toll on your body. 4DX experiences in theaters have expanded in the last decade, which requires special equipment and seats. This year, you could see Minions and Monsters or Moana with shaking seats and mist spraying.
Jesus. Spider-Man
Brand New Day later this month will also be in 4DX. Variety sent several of its writers to see the film in 4D. They did not love it. My friend's narcotic-fueled journey may have been unique, but he's not the only person out there who accidentally saw it in 4DX. I thought the chairs felt off and was surprised they didn't recline. Nadashek told me, I don't mind regular seats, but I figure Regal had them in most theaters. It was only when his seat started moving during the trailer for the new Spider-Man movie he understood what he was in for. So that's a fun adventure if you're into that. I'm going to send you to one of those. I thought about not just telling you.
I would be amused, probably. I mean, I don't know. It's funny. I don't know anything about the Odyssey. I don't know. I know about this movie that Ellen Page is in it. He dances as E.T. runs or something. But I don't know the story of it. I know that the Trojan horse is in there somewhere. So whatever. I'm just not interested. I'm also not just interested in the Roman Empire. I know I'm supposed to be.
It doesn't have anything to do with the Roman Empire.
I know, but it's things I'm supposed to be interested in.
Oh, okay.
Know what I mean, Jelly Bean?
Oh, okay.
Should you do the chat? Or go ahead.
A couple more small items. We are celebrating today because, do you remember the Cracker Barrel rebrand?
Yes.
That CEO is officially stepping down. Who ran that? Of course, it's a white woman who set up that.
Who hates Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, clearly. So she's gone. And then, do you remember, when was it? It must have been about at least a half a year ago, maybe more.
Doing. I'll give you another soundbite. I actually happened to be in Orlando last week with all of our managers. We bring them together and every other year. And the number one question that I got asked, Michael, was, how can I get a remodel? When can I get a remodel? How do I get on the list?
Oh, really?
So because the feedback and the buzz is so good, not only from our customers, but from our team members. They want to work in a wonderful restaurant. So we're doing everything for our guests and our team members.
I don't like when restaurants call the diner's guests at all. At all. Ugh.
So you remember months ago we talked about how transgender people were fleeing and asking for asylum in the Netherlands?
Yes.
From the United States because of persecution by the Trump administration.
Yep.
And they're getting put in refugee camps with all the Muslims who keep washing up in Europe.
Yes.
So there's an update on this one trans woman, Jane Michelle Ark, who wants to come back to the U.S. now after begging for asylum because I guess she realized that she wasn't actually in any danger of anything happening to her in the U.S. Him in the U.S., whatever. Transgender woman who fled the U.S. seeking asylum now fears she could be hurt or killed as the notorious refugee camp she was placed in became so dangerous that the Red Cross has pulled out aid workers. Ter Apel, the Netherlands' largest refugee camp, is home to 2,000 asylum seekers from across the globe. For years, it has sheltered Eritreans, Somalis, and Syrians who say it remains too dangerous to return home despite the fall of Bashar al-Assad. Now a new wave has begun arriving. Transgender Americans who fled the U.S. fearing for their safety after Donald Trump returned to the White House. Asylum seeker Jane Michelle Ark, 48, left the United States after she said it had become too dangerous for transgender people. A software engineer from San Francisco, Ark said she had faced abuse on the street and while using women's restrooms and decided to flee the U.S. after a harrowing incident in which she feared being run over by a truck. Do you think that Jane, the trans software engineer in San Francisco, was in any danger?
No.
But Ter Apel has been grappling with a surge in violence at the asylum center, including stabbings and violent brawls, prompting aid groups and Red Cross volunteers to temporarily halt their work. The situation I have in the U.S. as a trans person is not good, right? But here I will be hurt or killed, she told local outlet POW News. So now she wants to come back to the U.S. because it turns out that it is not the asylum seeking needs were not as great as it seemed, apparently.
Okay, listen to this. Here's a couple of in the chat. Kim Possible 25 says, I got behind. Tyra Banks wasn't even relevant then. Correct. It doesn't matter. They're all relevant to Fauci.
All of them are more famous than him,
yes.
and that's what counts for him.
Cheswick says, dead baby teeth boy is having problems. It's always been the same problem. Cheswick says, hey, Tom, who punctured Featherson's tires? We don't know. We got pictures. The pictures are online. He's posted them. We've all retweeted them. Cheswick says, isn't the profit on supermarket goods like 1.5%? It is, right? It's a tiny profit margin in supermarkets.
Oh, in supermarkets, it's teeny, yeah. But they don't have to worry because they're the lose money grocery store.
Well, the Mamdami's.
Yeah.
But people are still going to go there, and that's going to hurt the other grocery stores.
I think there will pretty quickly be reasons why you're not going to want to go there, frankly.
I don't know what you're saying, Alice. Cheswick says 4DX is 1950s technology. I've done stuff like that before at like little gimmick places. Okay. Allison, ready for the chat?
I'm ready for the chat.
Look at you coming back. I mean, I'm not saying that you're back permanently. I'm just saying I enjoy having you. The shows go way long with you.
I have things to say.
I know you do. I love it.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hi, Billy.
Mean, you guys, the two of you are making fun of the Fauci diaries. I would love to look at the Shattuck diaries.
You're listening to
so
it.
Delusional. Oh, I'm reading Greek poetry. I'm having Greek poetry read to me in a British accent. Like, who are you people? And then the idea that you think that you're going to get Tucker Carlson on your show to answer questions. I mean, you're more delusional than Fauci.
I think Tom's interviewed Tucker.
This podcast was.
Haven't you?
And then
For
what
a
are we
book?
doing too? 3 for 3. Is she back? Is she gone? She can't take this podcast. She doesn't like the guest. She doesn't like this. Doesn't like the callers.
Hold on.
But she's to answer questions. I mean, you're more delusional than Fauci. That's how pathetic this podcast was. And then what are we doing too? 3 for 3. Is she back? Is she gone? She can't
I
take
heard
this
it.
podcast. She doesn't like the guests. She doesn't
Well-
like this. Doesn't like the callers. But she's back. She can't get away. She can't get away. Can't get away from this world.
Believe me, I
48.
wish I could, Billy. Wait,
Alice.
Tom keeps asking me to come back.
Well, I mean, you kind of have something to say. I'm just saying. You look devastatingly beautiful
Yeah,
today.
no, I
Watching not at Starbucks, it was really, and it wasn't. I wasn't in a loving you mood either, but it just absolutely turned me.
Sorry, Billy. Tom wants me here. I'm with you.
She's good looking, and so Billy, as far as Tucker Carlson goes, hey, we got Jeffrey Tucker on, did we not?
That's true. We did.
We successfully booked him. Okay.
I, for one, enjoyed the nearly 40-minute screed from Alice K. Shattuck last night about the AI rationalist movement, the Zizians, what's his name, Elijah Jadakowski and Mary. What did Tom absorb? Someone's making $600K as the head of this movement.
Yeah.
It's a polyamorous type of organization,
Hey.
and it's a nonprofit. A dream come true for Shattuck. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Seriously.
Let's get that Massachusetts chapter of Mary up and running, Shattuck.
Seriously, I don't care, Alice. I will do anything now. I will open a.
You'll philosophize about how AI is going to kill us all.
I will open a NAMBLA retail space if that's what it takes to finally make some money.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
A couple things. First of all, we know about this family. I mean, the fact that they both endorsed Ayanna Pressley is.
I wrote
that
an
just
endorsement
tells
of her.
you everything.
I didn't endorse
These are
Ayanna
never
Pressley.
Trumpers. These are fools. These are.
You sure you didn't author
RINOs.
some of that?
These are just frauds. Number one. Number two. She has to be joking, but I know she's not. But this is again the pattern of behavior of this ridiculous menace of a family. Bringing your computer again. Do we need to go through it again? Computer at a movie theater.
Yeah.
Bring in your Starbucks at a struggling restaurant because you have to have your own Starbucks with your sunglasses.
That is
on,
terrible.
And Fatso with the moo walking in with the other 7,000 kids behind him. And now, obviously taking 20 items to the 12 item or less. Just entitled assholes. 55 seconds.
Well, Alice is. She's a yacht bunny from Lexington.
I don't think I've taken more than 12
She
items.
got her way, and that was everything.
I don't think I've taken more than 12 items in there. I'm good at estimating.
Are you one of those girls who, when you would go swimming somewhere and then go to the grocery store, that you had like a thin little robe thing so everybody could see your bikini underneath?
No.
Well, you took your 56 items to the 10-item line. Oh, God, you certainly were.
They call him Tubby Tommy.
Hey.
I remember him from school. They called him Chubbs.
Incorrect.
Listen, Tom.
Yes.
I appreciate that Alice is dipping her toe back into the podcast, but, when you spend 40 minutes on a certain version of the Iliad and the Odyssey, the translation into French, back into Creole, and then into Russian, and then into English, and the nerding out of the IMAX theater and all that. I mean, you didn't even get to a lot of the stuff you wanted to. I appreciate that she's there, but, bro, she's got to get her podcast feet wet again.
I know.
You know what I mean? Get back into the rhythm.
But
thank you, Alice, for sitting in because, Tom really needed the help. He really did.
Thank you, Cheswick. Yeah, well, when she started talking about the new rationalists, I thought it was a brief aside. I didn't realize she did the most comprehensive deep dive into the movement.
I tied it back to Anthony Fauci.
I thought it was good. Believe me, I thought it was good. I was just like, I had my finger on Hunter Biden audio for 40 minutes. I had a bit of a game plan. It included 5 things, but number 6 went to number 2 and pushed out 3 through 5. And Alice, you know what?
What?
Guess what? Guess what it's time for?
The closing music?
Closing music. How are you so adorable these days?
I'm not.
You are. Okay. You ready?
Thanks so much for listening, guys. Thanks for joining us in the chat and in the chat. Appreciate all you guys being here. You can go to burnbarrelpodcast.com. You can find all different places to listen, like YouTube and Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can also find our merch store if you hit shop there. All kinds of good stuff. burnbarrelpodcast.com.
C'est la vie.